Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Gamehater, the show where we play our dubious purchases and decide how much we hate them. We are finishing up ROGUETOBER tonight with Loot Rascals.
Yeah, so hopefully this one will rise above the rest because so far it's been a pretty disappointing run.
Yeah, even Metroidvania May, we found a game that we liked.
Yeah, and this time it's mostly not just been bad games, but boring games, which is even
Yes.
worse.
Yeah, boring roguelikes are not something I thought existed up until October 2017. Who am I?
Oh wow. Do we choose neither?
Yeah, I don't love either of these. Alright, let's be the super nervous guy.
He's like, oh God, what am I doing?
Uh-huh. Hexagons. That's a bold choice.
What are you even doing with all this stuff?
I don't know.
I gotta say, there's like been very few times, if any times, where we could run into a card-based game that we've actually liked it. So
That's
if
true.
we get to the end of here, we're gonna immediately be like, yes, we are biased against this genre.
That's probably fair. Okay, I did the thing. I did what you asked me to do. Can we move on? I've already optimized the cards. Don't make me move them around more. Alright, I have to get more.
How do you arrange it so you have? What? Why does the order matter? I don't get it.
Well, each of these cards have different effects.
Oh, card to the right +2. Okay.
Yeah, based on where they are.
Wow, this is way too complicated.
Alright, so I need to get 5 defense. I have 5 attack. Now he's happy. I did not sign up for a puzzle game. Crush some biscuits.
So now it's combining two things we hate with a roguelike. This is like the perfect finale for ROGUETOBER.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my goodness. And the combat system is just walk up to dudes and see what happens. My goodness.
So like you're not even really combating with cards. You're just using cards to determine what your stats are.
Yeah. Okay, an attack order is a thing. Well, okay, let's do some more card optimization. But I need 2 hydro putters.
I also noticed that if you look in the background of those images, it looks like there's like a pipe. And I wonder if if you connect the pipe, so there's a bonus too.
Well, that's an interesting question. Maybe so. Card below it. Why is all this happening to me? Wow, yeah, because that's what I want to do is agonizingly shuffle cards around the menu to min-max.
See, I think if that was something that was extra in the game, and like you really want to get in depth in it, you could do that. That'd be fine. But that's apparently, I think this is it. That's the game. That's it.
This seems to be the entirety of the game. I mean, we are only in the tutorial right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Just it sort of strikes me as like if someone played like Final Fantasy VII and decided, what if we made an entire game where the whole point was the materia system and that was it?
Yeah.
Like we'll go ahead and get rid of all the annoying turn-based battle stuff and all this story stuff that nobody cares about. We're just gonna do the materia system and that's it.
No, that's an apt analogy. I have a burning card. Great. How about some shorts? Defense +1 does nothing special. My kind of card. And great. Now I'm out of card slots.
He's like, no, I don't like what you did.
I have not seen a single biscuit. Why are there no biscuits? I was promised a biscuit.
I think you're fighting biscuits.
Okay. Use the right stick. Use your burn ability. Okay. Burn the guy I should avoid. How about that? Okay, so now I have a ranged attack, so I can not even bother with these idiots. Are these the biscuits? This must be a British or Canadian game, because these are clearly cookies.
Well, this came in the Canadian bundle, didn't it?
Okay.
Or no, wait, this...
It might have been the Canadian bundle.
Yeah.
So in that case, this use of biscuits is justified. So now I idle around until I can burn these guys. There's got to be more to the game than this.
I would hope so, but this is a series where we play games and become disappointed by them, so...
That's true.
Okay, here's our dude.
Yep. Now
we got a story.
We got some plot. Alright. Also known as a booze break.
We're nearly there, so I'm just going to talk you through the mission again, okay? Right, you're on your way to the site of a new outer space holiday camp.
So this dude is Scottish, just so you know.
I can sort of tell with he started out with a gun up, but with the E at the end. That's totally a Scottish move.
Very much so.
Oh. I think we just got attacked by a evil cloister.
Yeah, that's the E-rated way of saying it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna go a different way with that, but I was like,
yeah,
let's tame that.
I'm glad you found a euphemism, because I was at a loss.
Okay, well, the new mission is let's escape.
Well, I mean, if there's anything Pokemon is good for, it's getting out of awkward situations.
Quite so. Getting into different awkward situations.
Well, the game does look quite a bit different now, as opposed to that tutorial, which was quite depressing.
He's got a side quest. His face looked nothing like his character model. Yeah, so that's encouraging. There might be more to the game than... No. Spoke too soon.
It's like, that's it.
Oh, is that how it works? They switch defend and attack based on the time of day. Let's see. Oh, now I'm just gonna get smacked to death.
Well, these enemies are a lot modder than fighting biscuits and other biscuits.
Absolutely. And every action causes an enemy turn. That's good to know.
Yeah, we probably haven't actually assembled a deck too, because we don't actually have one, I don't think, since that was a tutorial.
Well, I got some cards, so...
Oh, okay.
So that's good. And actually, I did have some stuff equipped.
Well, how decent of the game to do that. I still think there's something to this whole pipe thing in the background. I don't think that's random.
No, yeah, there's no way that's random. I'm with you on that. I don't see a way to change it, though. Or I can't solve the puzzle with the cards I have, let's put it that way.
Right.
Even slot +1. Okay. Great. There was a full heal somewhere. Full heal? Not enough tokens, decompile cards.
Wow.
What a disaster.
Just go over there. There's a little
Oh.
corpse over there.
I feel like I should play it safe and sacrifice a card.
This game's a little bit more interesting now that it's actually a little bit more colorful and things are happening.
It's nicer to look at. Look at that. Ooh, a boss.
I mean, at least everything's not dark and neon. So I mean, that's a
Yeah.
plus.
Got that going for us. Oh no, he's looting my cards.
Did you get to pick, or did he pick himself? Right, no, we don't have any cards now. Whoa,
I'm very
whoa!
confused. What happened there?
Holy shit! That is horrifying.
Yeah, like some kind of nose tumor just attacked me.
Oh no, it's a
Cloister again.
cloister.
Barry's been teaching me all about this fascinating liquid he brought with him.
Oh, and the fascinating liquid coming from the cloister.
How on the nose.
I think we found the cloister spot.
Yep.
It does exist.
We all thought it was a myth.
This is where the game justifies being able to come back after you die then.
Yeah. No, I've seen games do it well, but in general, I'm more than willing to accept that I died and started over because I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
Dark Souls wrapped it into the lore very nicely.
For most of that, so I'll give you the upshot. There's a thing below or somewhere, and it's going to keep bringing us back to life as long as we kill the aliens around here. But what I'm thinking is, we find the big Barry head.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I remember in Rogue Legacy thinking at one point, after I was like, you know, so many generations in, it's like, at this point, my character should probably have guns.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we've reached that point in history by now.
It's been 3,000 years. You're live, but the thing below can't preserve your cards. The thing below is the cloister?
So is he on our side then?
Hard to say.
So I wonder where the what element comes in as far as like what we're keeping after we die then. Because they took all our cards.
Yeah. I must just be spawning with new cards, so maybe it's one of those deals where things you collect have higher chances of spawning over time.
Yeah, there might be something like the village area where they give you some kind of perk or whatever.
Yeah. Did you see my pants? No, wait, you missed them. My pants are a tour of the solar system. Space pants.
Come back, Whiskas. Your time is up.
He is way faster than me. I'll never catch up with him. What is this?
Not if
dotted
Ogron's
line?
gonna be. I don't think it means you're about to go to. Oh, he's targeting you for like a long range attack.
Can't have that. Alright, Whiskas. Had enough of your Whiska.
Oh,
To whisk you away to the thing below, which is apparently a hostile and uncaring creature. Rather misogynistic, if you ask me.
well, I mean, it's apparently on our side, so
True. I guess we've pleased the thing below,
yeah.
and now it fights for us.
We managed to impress it with our something.
Our deft maneuvers.
Yes.
Oh no. I
It's
just
like we
walked
may
into the
be
boss fight
small,
again.
but we know how to use our cards.
Play your cards right. The thing below will be pleased. I guess I have to put that in the middle of something. Why not? So I'm pretty balanced build right now.
Yeah, it's like only a few of your cards actually have extra perks on them.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just boot this guy. And
More pants.
more pants. Wear as many pairs of pants as I can.
Alright, you might want to think about healing.
Thank you. Odd slot, card to the right. You're better than any card I have. It's weird that they're calling them cards and chips interchangeably.
So why are you destroying their cards?
They're worth money.
Oh, maybe
So I
that's what
can-
you get to keep.
No, maybe. Tokens. So, let's see if those tokens stick around. 3 tokens. So disconcerting. Nope, I seem to have kept nothing.
Interesting. Not what I expected.
No. Maybe my starting equipment gets better over time? I don't know. Whiskas. Not a bro.
It also didn't seem to start you near the village to actually use any of the stuff you got either.
I was near the village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess maybe you just didn't go towards it.
Yeah,
Maybe next time you die, we'll go back there and see if there's something we can get for coming back to life.
sure. Whoa, boy. Let's do that right now. Lick boy.
Nobody's got time for you, lick boy.
He is too tough for me. Apparently blocking is a thing. Drag this card to give another card the ice. I can make ice blocks.
Oh,
Well, that's
kind of cool.
Now they can walk right past my ice blocks. I guess I could hold a choke point that way.
Okay, so you have to go into the dome. Okay.
Yeah. Man, my attack is way too low for the guys I'm trying to attack.
So Bola's girl apparently just has bolas attached to her shirt. That's her whole thing.
Very descriptive.
Yeah. Maybe as a substitute for her lack of breasts.
Well, clearly she doesn't understand how breasts are supposed to work if she's under the impression the bolas are an acceptable substitute. Wow, 4 tokens to heal. I am not healing this time. I am going to march to my death once again. Because otherwise I'm just depowering myself too badly.
What's down there at the little teleporter machine down there? I wonder what that would do
It's
for you.
Probably the exit. I don't understand what they're taking. I mean, all my stuff is gone, so why are they taking cards?
Yeah. Where's all this stuff going afterwards?
Right, it's very unclear. Where the Whiskas? May as well bully the little guy.
Do you really want to mess with those guys, though? They look pretty tough.
No, I do not want anything to do with those guys.
I know it kind of undermined the point of this game, but I kind of wish it would just like automatically equip the best cards for you.
At least fill slots as you gather cards. Or have an optimized button. Either of those would be fine. Alright.
It feels so wrong having an orange on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I guess it didn't do anything.
Defense. Alright, there's the exit. No. Combine all equipped defense cards. Understand. Hold to burst. Let's do it. Okay, so all my defense cards are now a single card. I'm cool with that.
Got a big giant defense slab.
Yeah, and that gives me the option of more cards. What do you do? What's that symbol mean? Oh, double-sided.
Are they all double-sided? No, it just had a little thing on the back.
Yeah,
there.
that
Okay.
one has a specific symbol for it.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Despite my earlier misgivings, the whole card system is actually working a little bit more interesting than I first gave it credit for. Like,
Yeah, it has some legitimate depth to it.
and I do like that even though the combat is pretty simple, like it's not substituting the combat, it's just a part of it.
Yes. It is still overly simple, though. What does this button do?
Alright, so it's giving you a warp. If you hold down LT, you can warp to Dome.
Well, yeah, I can always do that, though.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. I thought that was just because you're on the teleporter.
Yeah, that's my emergency run away to heal button.
There's nothing like taking a nice stroll through the countryside, walking past the many corpses of your enemies.
I'm glad they stick around. Alright, this is not going to go my way. Wow.
Wow.
These boss characters. Huge spike from the...
Oh, dude, come on. That was our best one. I know we don't get to keep it, but still.
No, he's just rubbing it in, I guess. Alright, well. Here we go again. Yeah, so I have to wonder if there is meant to be any sense of permanent progress. I've seen no evidence for it. Wow, and he can two-shot me at my current power levels.
She didn't even take a card. I think she thought it was worth the taking.
Just gave me a thumbs down and went on her way. Which is probably what's going to happen to this game.
Something happens in 245 turns.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means.
Should I just idle around for 244 turns?
Well, I think it turns either you're going to another slot.
Right.
So you have to go in circles or something.
That shouldn't take too long.
Oh, this is exciting.
It's got a grind turn counter. See if something interesting comes out of it.
I mean, you at least killed Bolus Girl.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, that went well. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and grind. That'll take forever. If it happens, it happens. I do want to grind a little bit to slow him down. How am I doing on survival?
We got one health.
Yeah. Problem is, I don't want to spend my tokens. Because I have to kill cards that I have equipped to get tokens.
So you have to make yourself weak.
Right, exactly. So then I just end up in a death spiral. So I guess I have to pick my battles better when I have the health. So if I'm understanding the combat mechanics correctly, if my defense is higher than their attack, they just can't hurt me. So probably I just spec out as much defense as I can and juggernaut my way through this.
Yeah, or just get in the habit of, killing your offense cards
Right.
for healing.
Right. That's probably better. Oh boy, there's a boss. I can't leave yet. Oh man, vile
There you
Claire.
go.
Nothing worth stealing.
What does it matter if you steal anything? We don't get to keep anything.
I don't understand. I wish I knew.
There's got to be some way of getting back the cards that we're not getting stolen.
Right, gotta be. Right now my attack is so low that I'm taking more damage because I'm not killing things fast enough.
Yeah.
So I guess really the strategy of this game is arranging things such that you always are attacking first, not taking damage. That's the priority, not taking damage. And there are systems that let you do that. I'm doing a terrible job of taking advantage of them.
And dead.
And but I'm not dead. What was that?
Wait, what? How'd that happen? That was weird.
Yeah. Alright. We'll give it one more run. Card to the left is +1, more defense is good.
A lot of offense now.
Yeah. 6 isn't even that much, those guys are 7. Also having trouble understanding what some of these pads do.
You just got one-shotted.
Yeah. Like Cold Ray the Fearful. Okay.
I think we've seen enough, and this game hasn't even like bothered to give us a reason to keep going out there and getting murdered. So
No. Yeah, well, it definitely seems to be a pure roguelike in that there is no transferal of new powers or abilities from one run to the next
yeah.
that I could see.
Before we commit to that completely, though, why don't
Yep.
you back out to the menu and see if there's anything meaningful out there?
Sure.
Okay,
I don't
maybe not.
see anything of the sort.
So apparently, when a card is stolen, it is uploaded to the server. This card will drop in someone else's game, and you may see enemies in your game with the name in yellow text. Is an enemy else holding a player's card. If that player is able to kill the enemy holding that card, they'll be given a choice between sending the card back to you or keeping it for themselves. Depending on
Okay.
this choice, an AI version of you will either help them for a bit or try to kill them and steal the card back.
Interesting. Yeah, so no evidence of that, but that all depends on how full the servers are. How big of a splash the game made.
Yeah. Apparently, there's also ability to find like a crashed rocket ship that you can send cards to yourself, I guess.
Huh. Going into the rubric. Yeah, and this is one of those ones that kind of defies a genre classification. Like, roguelike elements are things we both generally enjoy.
Right.
Sounds like you and I prefer roguelikes where there's some element of permanent progress. You know, upgrading character statistics or...
Right, because I
unlocking
mean,
better
I feel like
drops, that kind of
that's...
thing.
I know that's not what a pure roguelite is, but at the same time, I feel like that should be kind of the definition of what it should be. Just because at this point, that's
Right.
what so many games have evolved to become,
Yeah.
that it's sort of a defining element at this point.
Right. Yeah, I mean the original roguelike was basically the original conception of the roguelike genre, if that's even a meaningful phrase. Was basically every run was like resetting an arcade machine, where just remembers nothing that you've ever done.
Right.
And me personally, when I play video games, I like to have some sense of progression, even if it's as simple as upgrading my strength a point after a run.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to have that to have a good game, especially when
don't.
it's based on something more like skill. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need Mega Man to be a roguelike because you get more skilled at the game, you learn how to play it, and you also learn the pattern of the map itself,
Yes.
and that's how you get better at it. But when you have a game where it's randomized and then it's also where you don't really necessarily have control over what your skill level is, more about just being lucky about where an enemy shows up.
Yeah, yeah, and
Not having that kind of growth sort of defeats the purpose.
it does. And I saw a lot of RNG that really controlled, or rather, the RNG I think was more powerful than my own skill, because you're very dependent on getting good card drops. And I've noticed cases where I had like 6 defense and a guy that looked like he had 2 attack smacked me and took a point off my health. And okay, so I've got 5 health points. I can only play so carefully when an enemy can still do damage to me, even if my defense is way better than their health. And they're moving around. I can't warp away to the dome until I've cleared the screen of enemies. So I didn't ever feel like I had enough control over the situation. And generally,
Yeah.
roguelikes are all about pure skill.
Yeah, and this it doesn't matter here. It just was just completely random.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, everything was a little more random than it should have been. So,
Which is kind of a shame because I was starting to warm up to the game. We were like really negative at first,
Sure.
just playing the tutorial, but
Uh-huh.
I thought there were some really good concepts in there, like the card building system. I mean, it wasn't like my idea of a good game, but I think it was working well. It had some
Yeah.
interesting concepts there, just be able to optimize what you're doing, but you didn't have to optimize if you didn't want to.
Right, yeah, and I've certainly played games where I've enjoyed putting things in upgrade slots. Hollow Knight and the Paper Mario series come to mind, where you had some number of badge slots, and you would find or buy badges throughout the game to increase your capabilities, and that's just fine. This game took it up, went a little further with the concept by making cards care about where they were placed, and I think that certainly does become tedious, but it's not an awful system. I can see it appealing to people who have the patience for it and really like nitty gritty min maxing.
Right. But unfortunately, it's not so much the gameplay, but the package that it's in.
Yes, right. It was a perfectly fine mechanic in a game that needed 3 or 4 more perfectly fine mechanics.
Yeah.
Those cards control everything. It's what cards you have plus RNG. And I was still completely dependent on whatever drops the game deigned to give me for my statistics, even if I did optimize every decision, especially in the early game when I don't have that many choices. You can do everything right and still get killed within 5 minutes.
Yeah, especially when you can just be, seemingly in control of the situation, then just a boss enemy will just show up literally out of nowhere
Yep.
just to attack you and kill you in one hit. With
Right.
no way for you to escape the situation.
Right. Yeah, because he'll chase you down, even if you do get enough warning to run away. All right, moving on. Conveyance. How well does the game explain itself? Yeah, the systems you pointed out with enemies stealing cars and putting them in other players' games and you trying to chase down the car. There was no indication that was even a possibility.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure why that's even a thing. Like, you're really expecting a lot of popularity for your game if that's a mechanic that you're wasting so much of the player's time on that you're like, yeah, our game is gonna be so popular that you're gonna be running into echoes of other people playing their game, and it's gonna be so amazing and so cool. You're gonna feel so integrated. Like, no, we didn't feel that at all.
No.
We just felt confused.
Yeah, right. You can see a AAA developer doing something like that because they have the marketing power to fill a server, whether the game's good or bad. I mean, it's failed in some cases. Yeah, so this is their only game on Steam, which means it was definitely not a decision. Call it ambitious or presumptuous, but I don't know how well it worked out for them. But I mean,
well, since we got it at like one of the lower tiers of a Humble Bundle, I don't think it worked out that well for them.
Yeah, maybe not. They had enough clout to get on the Humble Bundle, which is something. Right. So, I mean, the tutorial was fine. I think it told us what we needed to know well enough.
Yeah.
Aside from a few mysterious mechanics. So yeah, I think I'm out of things to say.
I think that pretty much sums up the game. We sort of beat on the point already a few times because there's really not a whole lot more to say. I mean, it had some kind of semblance of a story going on with it, but not enough to really draw you in. Which, I mean, it's not meant to entice you with some fantastical tale. It's just backdrop.
Right.
With its weird cloister thing resurrecting you. That was sort of disturbing.
I'm sure it's all explained very nicely.
If anything, what little story that there was almost a little bit too much, just because it just sort of just was baffling and didn't really elaborate or explain anything. It gave us a reason for the death mechanic, and that was about it. But even then, why do we even need a death mechanic if our character dies and doesn't actually gain anything on his next life? So
right, yeah, it's just
it doesn't even need to give us that.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, the story was there. It did seem kind of disconnected to the action of the game. And I want to know why those cookies were sentient, why they were running around, and how we can destroy the Biscuit Empire.
Some things we'll just never find out.
No, I'm afraid not. Alright, final rating time?
My final rating is I look at this game and I see nothing worth stealing, so I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Yeah, I'll echo that. This is easily a thumbs down for me. It didn't do much for me on any level. Sorry to say. So, this has been Gamehater, finishing up ROGUETOBER with a perfect streak of disliked games. Most recently, Loot Rascals. So all that said, we hate this game and we're going to bed. Good night.
Good night.